Welcome to Dave Knows. I'm Dave, and this is Mr. Direct.
What's going on, party people?
And today, Dave and Mr. Direct, no wrestling.
I know wrestling. Do you know wrestling?
Well, let's find out. Yeah, I know.
We're about to find out how much wrestling you know. I know I'm a wrestling fan.
All right, so the subject of today's episode is going to be racism in the WWE. We know this is definitely something that other people know about. This is not something we're just fabricating. This is totally...
Is it really racism, or if we call it sports entertainment the way it is, you got to think about the fact that because they're entertaining, and they got to go against demographics, so they got to kind of please that demographic?
Nah, see, I hear that argument all the time, and you know what? I don't buy it. I don't buy it, because if that's true, how come you have a bunch of movies out there that had not white people in it, and they do well? And
I get it, but at the same time, I mean, come on.
I think it's racist that you're assuming the majority of wrestling fans are racist. White people. That's racist.
I'm not assuming that the white people that watch wrestling are Listen, what I'm saying is, according to statistics, we understand it's a business. And we understand that they do marketing research, so they look at their demographics. So if your average demographics is a white male between the ages of 18 and 45, and they eat mayonnaise sandwiches, then you might want to appease them.
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like I can only look on the TV if this person looks like me. You know, WCW is a Southern company and all that, and you know.
And they had black champions.
But that's what I mean. So you can't judge like the Southerners and saying that the demographic, you can't say that because you look at the South, the Southern company from Georgia, and they were very progressive. That's not to say they won't like someone different.
Let's look at when they offer up certain characters that are a little bit more ghetto versus traditional values, how these people actually play out.
All right, well, The Rock, okay, The Rock is half black, half Samoan, he's half Asian, half black, and he did really well.
Use The Rock as an example.
Why not?
The Rock, first of all, The Rock is third generation wrestling star.
All right.
That's number one. Number two, he came at a time where they had the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
You can't let a you can't let a dark-skinned person have an attitude to a broad array of people. It'll be seen as too aggressive. An example.
Too aggressive? They got Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Because they're white, they're allowed to be seen in an aggressive manner because you're living out a fantasy via these characters. So if the majority of your fan base is white and your fan base thinks that they wish that they could kick their bosses behind, your fan base thinks that they can actually go out of their way and kick and scream and feel like they can tell everybody what they're going to do and conquer the world. See, white people got a complex with conquering the world. I'm just saying in general. When you think about it, they playing into the stereotype according to their demographic. Now, is it wrong? Yes. Because let's be honest with you. If wrestling had a bit of truth in it, people like Ahmad Johnson would have been champion higher than Intercontinental.
But the only thing was he was a little injury prone. He got hurt, like, you know, it is kind of dicey putting the belt on him just because he could get hurt out of nowhere. You don't know. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Like, I'm not trying to defend him, and I'm just saying that maybe what they were doing wasn't racist just because of how injury prone he was. You know.
They gave Mark Henry a belt. They did take it away like 2 weeks later. Or the next pay-per-view. Like, is that the problem? Like, seriously?
I got that beat. Yokozuna lost it in 2 minutes. He won it off of Bret Hart in WrestleMania 9 and lost it to Hulk Hogan.
With the bogus leg drop?
Yeah. So I'm just saying. So you want to complain about...
Eventually.
Doesn't matter. You want to complain about Mark Henry. I got that. That wins.
But that was a push to push, once again, the white character, Hulk Hogan, over the top in order to be the savior. He knocked out the white Canadian, so now all of a sudden the American guy has to come and save the day. I'm a real American. Fight for your... I mean, seriously, that's what we had to get into? So, okay. So now, remember when I was reading the list before?
Yes.
We were going down the list of the top.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We all know who the top... Well, we kind of know who the top three are. You ready?
Yeah.
Booker T.
All right.
Junkyard Dog.
Oh.
And The Rock is actually number 3.
Yeah, all right.
So they ranked Booker T and a Junkyard Dog higher than The Rock.
See, my thing about, look, Junkyard Dog, he's cool. Rock, he's cool. But the thing is, both of them aren't really great technical wrestlers. I mean, let's be honest here. You know, Rock is athletic, but he's not a great wrestler.
Junkyard Dog was a gimmick.
Yeah.
Booker T was actually a
Booker
wrestler.
T's really good.
Listen, yeah, they gave The Rock the belt, but how many times did The Rock lose to Stone Cold? How many times did The Rock actually lose to Triple H? But now, when you come over, who did they make the ultimate bad guy? Booker T, who became King Booker.
Oh, God. Oh. I hated that. I hated that. So.
It was hilarious. How did
I hated that.
It was the worst god-awful accent you ever heard in your life.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, they totally ruined Booker T for me. Yeah, no, it just makes me
And the
sad.
spin-a-rooney?
See, I didn't mind when he did it, just they didn't call it. It's not a move. Don't call it anything. It's just how he gets up.
You know what
Like,
it was?
you don't have to make it a thing.
You know what made it funny? And this is the most hysterical part about it? It wasn't a spin-a-rooney. It was actually a move from breakdancing, like the windmill.
Yeah. Or how about whenever a wrestler jumps up on their feet, which is called a kip up, but for some reason Jim Ross keeps calling it a nip up. And now that he works in Japan, he stopped saying that.
Jim Ross is another person we don't even want to talk about right now.
I'm just saying, it's how someone gets up. You don't need to draw attention to it by naming it a move. You could they just got up. Let it go.
You have a point. Here's another funny about that list.
Yeah.
Yokozuna was listed as a black wrestler even though he was Samoan.
Sure, why not? All I'm
Okay.
saying is when you have it in wrestling world, when they give you your W-2 form or your employee application, there's a checklist. It's white and then other. Those are your two options.
When it comes to wrestling, I will never believe that Triple H could actually be a champion if there was really legitimately black athletes and white athletes and really going for the belt. Farouk
Love him.
should have been a champion.
And he was in WCW.
But was he really Farouk or was he?
No, he's Ron Simmons. He's Ron
Rugged
Simmons.
Ron Simmons. Now, Rugged Ron Simmons was another great college athlete.
But I will, yes, he was. But I will say, I did like him in Nation and Domination. I like that.
Preferred him in APA.
See, then I
No,
thought,
the reason why I liked him in APA is because they were guns for hire.
I like the idea guns are higher, but my problem is when he was in the Nation and when he was the leader of the Nation, he actually had something to say. He had an agenda. Then when he was in APA, he got boiled down to just one word. Damn. And that's his entire career now. That's all anyone knows about him now. It's like it ruined his whole career. Like that's all it is.
No, and once again,
I mean, I went to the Heroes for Hire.
but this is where the racism comes in.
Yeah.
So APA, he actually had a better personality than John Bradshaw.
Yeah.
But they gave it to John Bradshaw because John Bradshaw ended up going on Fox News because he was actually good with investing.
Right.
So because John Bradshaw became more marketable because of his other outside things, he became the wrestler that was good with investing, that knew how to make millions by investing his money.
Right.
So he became more marketable. So they threw him over the top, made him the head of APA, and then they gave him, who he has to be the worst champion ever. He was only good at being a rich pain in the ass. That was it. I've got money, and I've got my ranch, and New York Times says how great I am. He's Donald Trump before Donald Trump.
I definitely don't. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't get it. Like, he had a cowboy New York theme. Like, what the hell was that?
Because he was.
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah, like I said, I get it, but you know what I mean? It's like he was a New York Texan.
Once again,
I won't say he's the worst champion.
Once again, when you had Rugged Ron Simmons, who technically could have actually came in with another angle and been the champion.
It was a little late by the time APA was around because he was getting old. He was getting up in years.
They're all old. They're all up in years.
No, but I
Who
would have.
cares?
But I would have liked it if he got it when he was still the leader of the nation.
As leader of the nation, it would have been cool to
Because
see
then
him
you
as
have
a championship.
then you have a faction, and then Rock could have the IC title.
Because most of the black factions, when they formed, actually had a lot of your top tier athletes. But they wouldn't give these guys
And Mark Henry.
And they had Mark Henry, which, okay, you don't like Mark Henry, but whatever. But if you had all these guys that were top tier athletes in one faction, why wouldn't you give them all the belts?
A New Day right now, they're extremely popular. They had the tag titles since forever. They're coming up on a year. Could they have another one? Could they just have like just one other
And
belt?
that's the thing. You've got 3 of them.
Right.
So why wouldn't you throw another belt in there?
Right.
You don't have to give them the Intercontinental. Give them the USA belt. But I guarantee you, they're actually going to do that now with AJ Styles and his group. One of them's going to win a tag team. I guarantee you, AJ Styles is going to win the belt. If they did that with the black faction, it'd be a little bit more believable. But the fact that they refused, and listen, now Mr. Direct is going to be Mr. Direct. The fact that they refused to go that angle, there's There's racism right there. Call it what you want.
You just reminded me, the Bullet Club, as they originally were, the Bullet Club, they're kind of racist, because in Japan, that was where they put all the white folk in the Bullet Club. And they kept one or two not white people in that group just to say, oh, no, that's not what we're trying to say.
When you go to New Japan, it's their rules.
Mr. Direct, what you got to say in closing?
Man, WWE's racist. Simple.
So, this has been Dave Knows. I'm Dave.
And this is your man, Mr. Direct.
And thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to check out my man, Mr. Direct's channel.
You ever want to talk about somebody that talks about things, but you don't know what they're going to talk about? 'Cause sometimes he don't know what he's going to talk about. It's a bunch of nonsense, but it makes sense if you think about the nonsense that he's going to talk about. Does that make sense?
Check out Mr. Direct. Hey, thanks for coming on today.
Appreciate it, man. Next time.
All right, we'll see you next time.
So if you're off a little bit, you're good. Is it recording?
Yep.
Oh, we've been recording this all the time?
No, I just started.
Yo, why didn't you tell my black ass it was recording all the entire time? If you guys ever get a chance, YouTube Booker T calling Hulk Hogan the N-word. He catches himself right after he says it. Stevie Ray, he did not break character. Stevie Ray stood there and just kept his head like, this motherfucker did not just do this just on TV. Who was that?
ACH. You have any idea who ACH is?
No clue.
I met ACH last year, and the guy comes up to my nipple. I was like, I'm a big fan of yours. You think
And
you don't notice?
That's why they're not in the WWE.
Yes, absolutely. WWF is prejudiced against short people for sure. They build this dude Elgin as like a giant, but the guy comes up to about here on me, and they make this guy sound like he's freaking Andre. And I finally met him, and I'm like, you serious?
That is the funniest thing I've ever.
You gotta see it.
Like when you rank champions, he was only good at being a d. Oh, see, I wasn't supposed to say that. I mean, I understand that there's DVD extras, but at the same time, I can't swear.
Yeah, but Batman Superman just came out with the R-rated version. That's what we're gonna do. R-rated version. There's gonna be blood splattering and naked women running around, but that's
Naked
only
women. So you gonna have naked women, but I can't curse?
later. You can curse all you want in the special features.
Well, you pull the special features from the normal interaction, man.
No, we just CGI everything. We're gonna CGI curses now. Yeah, CGI curses.
Dave knows about brainwashing.
Or do I?
Let me talk to you about a little bit of macho madness. You see, you don't understand. When Vince McMahon decided he wanted to talk to the Macho Man, he didn't understand what the Macho Man and the Macho Madness was all about, brother.
Now yours is good, but you know something, Mean Gene. I got to say, I think.
Oh crap! I can't do that. I can't do that for much
He
longer.
lost character too quick. He couldn't hold it like your man, Mr. Direct, could. But that was good. That was actually good. I was impressed by that.
Thank you.
So, okay.
What the hell were we talking about? But I think he's like an ugly looking dude. He looks like a bad henchman in an action movie. like John McClane would kill him off 20 minutes into the movie.
That is completely hysterical.
Ugly
Man,
dude.
I got things to do.
All right. Okay, so all right.